Today I'm going to talk about how to do Simcraft and stuff like that. There's a Simcraft add-ons. I'm going to link add-ons in the description that you should get before you start this process. There's some also programs that we're going to get, but I'll kind of get into that a little bit more as we go on. But I'm going to show you how to Simcraft, get your stat weights, and how to use your stat weights to optimize your gear. You have to take everything with a grain of salt with this. The only reason is because we are using a program called Ask Mr. Robot. It's good for calculating stat weights when you give it, but it's not good for just kind of going off on your nilly-willy and trusting everything it says. So again, you have to take it with a grain of salt, and you have to use your brain with it. So please do absolutely use your brain. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to do /simc. This is going to show us our profile. So we're going to copy this. So we're into SimC now. You've downloaded it. You've opened it up. This is set up for a patchwork fight. So single target. You don't have to do stuff, but it's still good to get your stat weights for it, because now you can kind of calculate if a piece of gear is more worth it or not. So anyway, first of options, we're going to have to go to the globals. You'll have globals, buffs, scaling, and what you can do is you can change the length of the fight. So if your guild normally runs for about 5 minutes on a fight, you can do 500 seconds, 7.5 minutes I think is 450, and then 600 seconds for a 10-minute fight. So realistically, it probably won't change very much between the two. Depends on if you have more bursty cooldowns versus not. Just kind of what it is. And you can like target race. So we're fighting demons. You could do demon. That'll be the most thing. If you're tracking a trinket that does more damage towards demons, you'll get more off demons. But you can kind of change and mess with that there. That's totally up to you of what you want to do. And world lag, about 100 ms, 50 ms. Just do what your server is. On my server, my world lag sits at about 39. So actually what I can do is I could change it. So we will do that. We'll change it for a little bit higher. Buffs, debuffs, you could toggle all buffs, toggle all debuffs, leave that how it is, enable scaling, that's what you want to hit, and you want to make sure toggle all character stats is also enabled. So anything that'll affect you, say like, I'm an enhancement shaman, spirit doesn't do anything for me, I don't even think it's a stat anymore, that won't help. Like that's not a stat weight it'll even track. Or like strength, it won't track strength or agility, because I don't get anything off them. It even has like reforged plots, but of course, you know, we don't do reforging anymore, so, but anyway, don't enable plots or anything. So we go to simulate, and we did SimC /SimC in game, and now we can paste that profile into here. So this is our SimC profile, and we are going to simulate. Now it could take a couple minutes to simulate, so I'm going to come back when it finishes simulating, and we'll kind of break it down. Back, boom, here we are, we're back in action, and this is what we sim at. So on a patchwork fight, running I think it's 450 seconds, I should be doing about 22,913 DPS. Alright, doesn't mean much to me. That's without much error at all. I think it's 0.08% error, or 184 DPS, so not worried about that. I really don't care as much about this. This is what I care about right here. The scale factors. That's our stat weights, which is good for us. It lets us know how much stuff is worth. So like, even though I have 15.47% haste, mastery is actually still worth more per point than haste is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and plug it into Ask Mr. Robot. And it's a little bit funky to set up. But it's going to calculate all our stuff for us, and it'll be best in bags, and boom, that's where we are. So that's what we're going to do. It's kind of an interesting and kind of weird way to do it, but you just got to bear with me. I just want to preface before we got into Ask Mr. Robot, it is an interesting tool for sure, and sometimes the results can be very cringeworthy. There's a simulation option on it. I don't recommend using it. I recommend using it only for gear optimization, but that being said, you don't need to use it don't think it's a requirement, you can absolutely just use a pen and paper or a spreadsheet, or just look at it and look at what you have and know your stat weights offhand and be like, oh, this is worth 32k DPS and this is worth 34k DPS, and just calculate it out as you get a new piece. I mean, that's all you have to do. A lot of us sometimes will sim after we get a new trinket. Trinkets you should always sim on and get new stat weights for, and then change some pieces and then sim again, and kind of work out some bugs here. Because afterwards you can keep simming and you'll get closer and closer to your target of best in slot. Potentially there could be an item that does change, but you just got to sim a couple different things. But we're just getting into the basics right now, so no need to over confuse you guys. But yes, please take Ask Mr. Robot with a grain of salt. To Ask Mr. Robot, and this is the front page of it. What you want to do is you want to go to Gear Optimizer. So remember, we copied from in-game. So we're going to go to this bar here, and we're going to paste this chunk of text in there, and it's going to load this. So this is what we are currently wearing right now. This is our gear. Now it's time to simulate. Just kidding. Don't do that. You don't need to simulate at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the screen a little bit smaller. I'm going to pull up Simcraft, and we are going to go to View/Edit Strategy. So we head over to this, and now I did just enter this a second ago, but you take your stat weights from here and you put it in here. So that is all you have to do. Take your stat weights from here, put it into there. All right, that's easy enough. I'm just going to quickly double check that I wrote them correctly. Like on this one, I have attack power. It's my simulation for attack power. This doesn't have attack power. You don't get gear with attack power on it anymore. No reason to have it. I just put weapon offhand, weapon main hand DPS in here because it gave it to me, but it doesn't really matter. So save and use, and that's our current stat weights. Now here we are. We just imported our bags and everything, so all the gear that's in our bags. So if not, you can just paste that in there. And here's the other thing. Make sure your spec priority has, if like I'm simming for enhancement, make sure enhancement is ahead of it. So find best in bags, and boom, look at the difference. So it already suggests changes to it, and does suggest enchants. You can go with them, sure. The only thing I would sim on my own, like I know Mastery is going to be better and Crit's going to be better for those. The only thing I would sim on my own is to make sure that that marker, this hidden satyr, is the top damage for me. I haven't checked, I don't know, but I would sim that on my own to make sure that that's my best damage neck piece. So, but we're going to make these changes in-game real quick. If you would like to export it to an add-on, the add-on, you can do copy this, and you can go back into your game, go to Ask Mr. Robot Gear, you can import it right in there and changes. So activate, enhance, and equip it, and then boom, it equipped everything for me that I needed. So we did that real quick, and what I can do is I can do /simc, get my stat weights, my whole profile for Simcraft again. We go back here, we'll go to Simcraft, make this screen bigger, simulate. We have to make a whole new profile, and now we're going to simulate again and see if we did more damage. So it'll take a couple minutes to sim, but yeah, that's the idea. Back with our whole thing. So look at that. Our last simulation, we did only 2293 13, so 229,000. We'll just round it down, 229,000 damage. And in our new sim, we did 232,500 damage. So look at that. That is awesome. That is how powerful this tool can be. And boom, there we are. So that is a 360-second to 450-second length fight. So 450 is about what it averages out to be. You can look at the breakdown of your damage. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty neat tool. It really is a good tool. And I would absolutely use it. I mean, you can kind of see like how your Maelstrom spikes here, and I mean, you could analyze it to death if you'd like to. You can look at the gear you're wearing. I mean, it's awesome. You can definitely do a lot of There's a lot of powerful tools you can use with this for sure. But hey, this is what I would go with. Definitely use it. It's a great tool again. I can take this again and look at these stat weights. So let's, just for redundancy, we are going to go into our, well, I didn't sim this with stat weights, but you could then take stat weights from this, plug it back in, see if any of your stuff changes. Whenever you get trinkets, do that again. I mean, there's so much you can do with this tool. You can find the best DPS you could potentially do. If I was fighting a demon, if I get more damage against wolves, the boss is a wolf or beast, and you could sim and get a whole different set of gear against every different boss if you wanted to. A lot of powerful tools for this. I suggest using it. It's a tool out there. It's free. Ask Mr. Robot. It may cost you. You could make a free trial. I think you get free trials for Ask Mr. Robot. So if I were you, make a free trial account. Do it for the first week or two, and then once you get into raids, you probably have a best in slot list out there. Or if you just want to get gear as you can go, do that. But this will help you for right now in the pre-raid phase of Legion. So this is what I would do. This is what I do currently. And it works great for me, guys. So thanks so much. Please subscribe. I hope I explained everything properly. And yeah, keep watching the videos. Just wanted to test out something real quick. Here we're going to do the gear optimizer, and we're going to pick this. I just wanted to show that it does actually cost to have a premium account and find the best in bags. That being said, again, pen and paper works just fine. Make a spreadsheet for it. If not, it's $2 a month. If you can afford that, it'll work fine. So I paid for it for 2 years and didn't even realize it's $12. I think they said it's $12 a year. You could pay it all at once if you wanted to, $12 a year. That being said, you do get a free week trial, so you can make additional emails every week if you'd like. But this is what else says. You'll hit best in bag, and it says, this requires a premium account. We firmly believe. Try before you buy. Awesome. You try it. Here you go. You can use it. I haven't actually imported Statweights, so it's just giving me some random stuff that it thinks I should use. And yeah. So this is Ask Mr. Robot. Again, it's kind of a cringeworthy tool. If you use it properly, it can work great. But again, if you don't and you just trust everything that it says, you're gonna have a worse experience than just using like a spreadsheet. But you could just use a spreadsheet if you're worried about it. Or a pen and paper. I mean, it's really not that hard.